guys. Guys, the Pukuri thing, I promise you, literally less than 10 seconds when they looked back,
disappeared.
That guy had disappeared.
No more. But so it's true. Vele, not everyone who's at Groove is alive. Yeah. We have a comment right there on YouTube from Rosina Oliphant.
Okay.
My friend claims he dated a ghost for a week. They only met at night. This girl posted on TikTok, my life didn't end well when I went to Groove one day and made a new friend. She gave me her numbers. When I called her the next day, it went to voicemail. When I asked people if they probably knew her, they told me she died in 2019.
Yo.
This thing happened 2025.
This year?
Yeah, this year. You meet someone, go Groove, they give you their number, you call them, voicemail, you ask around, like, hi bro, this person died most 2019. Who are you talking to?
Yo,
you know,
friends.
And then people come in and flooding, you know, the comment section. Yeah. But so it's true. Vele, not everyone who's at Groove is alive.
Yes. Yes.
Do you guys have that experience too?
I do.
Tell us.
My bro, like, as someone who has lived his fair share of nightlife, guys, the Pukuri thing. Seriously, it's a joke, ne? But the Pukuri thing, honestly. No, it's not necessarily like so like that. I had a conversation with it, but you know what the thing is, and this is how I describe it, and this is what I usually tell people when it comes to this, is that, guys, it's not real, man. Yeah. There's just something to it. It's not the normal life that we live during the day, when the sun is out. Because what you find is, it's up to interpretation for every individual out there, right? Because we experience Groove in different ways. Yeah. We might be at the same place, but we experience the place in different ways, shapes and forms and all of those things. Yes. It's a huge one. Huge one. There's so many energies happening at Groove. Yeah. And it's too much for one to try and process all of them, right? Because the one thing that comes into play when we're out at Groove is that as different individuals, we are there for different reasons. We are there with different intentions. Spanning, batlo panda. Gona le motho o tlo ntshang stress sa gagwe go mjaivong. Gona le motho o batlang go unwind go lebala mathata. Gona le o batlang go nwa fela a tlhapelwe and just have fun. You know, so we come for different reasons and with different intentions. So with that being said, I've always told people between the hours of 11 and 3, maybe 4 o'clock. The hours, those 5 or so hours, guys, it's crazy at Groove. It's crazy. Like, we don't want it to end.
True.
True. These are the energies of the night at play, guys. But Watamamoya is different. So I'm not surprised that people are saying they've come across ghosts. I have friends who have had an experience.
Yeah.
This one time, that day I wasn't with them. So the following morning or the following day we're hanging out, and my friends say, hey, you know, this is in the dead of the night, you know, early hours of the morning. So obviously our local places, Mokasi, had closed, right? Had closed for the day, and so they drive somewhere. I won't say Kokai, but they drive somewhere here in Soweto. They drive and they want to go grab more drinks because they don't want to sleep. They still want to go on with the night. And anyway, they drive there, they get there, so they start looking around. So they bump into this guy. This guy is walking alone on the street. Hey, time for to shapuzet. Sure. If it man, PI tolovaka hi. Hi, but for PI thing is a go. Do you mind August Bonis? Hi, but for Tosabe. This guy gets in the car. Gets in the back seat with my friends. But drive, so it's like 2 minutes away from where they were. They drive up one side, chigala. Ati ay, gugula paya. Uchola pting is all paya. You understand? Okay? So obviously, man, was a horaman. Try to one sorry kiko guy. Plus, I get a cape. Music wall, not. We're having fun. Out of this guy mokoloini. Maramaga puma. Agapumi. ahambe nabo aye gate or kulo mnyango la kumele bakokote khona. How about you, my friends? Bari, this guy stood like in the shade, so he didn't want to come in the light.
Oh,
You understand? So he stood like I don't know, under a shelter or under a tree. I can't remember clearly, but like it was shaded where he was standing. So he's pointing with gula. So okay, bye bakokote. Vele ka nnete ke go gore ke swa mojala teng. Ba reke bojala. And then they're like to him, no, we can drop you off where we found you, or we can drop you off closer to where you're going. He's like, no, drop me off where you found me. So they are chatting with him normal. Oh, we have a conversation normal, small talk. Hey, guys, this guy gets in the car. But drive, they drop him off where they found him, along the road where they found him. They drive off. Literally less than 10 seconds when they looked back,
disappeared.
That guy had disappeared.
No more.
That guy had disappeared, guys.
Yep.
Guys, the puko di thing. I promise you, the puko di thing. So I'm not surprised when people say
after effects what did your friends say though?
We went on with our lives. Like I don't think it was a major.
Hence it happens. It always happens in that moment.
Night,
Yeah,
yes, when you're drunk and lucid.
It's lucid. It's
yes.
not necessarily you never actually think much of it.
Yes.
Until you recall it like literally a couple of days later.
Yes.
You're not even gonna recall it when you sober up the next morning, because that's what what happens between 12 and 4 or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's you're in a lucid state.
Hey, man.
So it's not even nakoyabaloi per se. It's when you have
Trust me.
it's a spiritual effect that happens during that time.
Hey, that's why
So it's either
time.
You're gonna babang bazobonela abanye abantu ukuthi bayaganga. So sometimes it's not necessarily about seeing a ghost. So it's when you're in your spiritual alignment, because that's when things intertwine spiritually, so to speak. So sometimes it's either uzobona umuntu ukuthi uyaganga, or yobona into ongafana ukuthi uyibone, or
your spiritual
ipogo.
eyes are open and
That's when your third eye is open, and spiritually you're mostly weak, or some people become more spiritually inclined. So it also depends upon you as a person. So when as a person, it depends also on the kind of spiritual, or how spiritually tough you are, in a sense. If you're very spiritually weak, your body power, your body jive and the power. It reminds me of this other series that I once saw. I can't remember its name. So this person, they were in like a spiritual, they were tracing like spiritual signs that had like, that could literally lead to ancient, forgive me for this, ancient satanic things, ne? And then his dad is an artist. So his dad on his paintings has like an old satanic sign, right? They never saw it until they saw that. And in this series, it's actually based on like Christian faith. So this is where it's literally test uba abantu Christians when they say, but in this aspect, this is where they actually see it, right? And his dad has one of those signs, only to find out that it's a branding that dates back in their bloodline back to slavery. And they have this other lucid drink that is, it's a concoction that is made from his dad's wives. So they made that concoction. And when they drink it, they literally go into a lucid state. So that's when they go into their spiritual form and start aligning with their spirituality. And the son had that drink, and in his lucid state, he saw one of his forefathers, an aunt that died like during slavery. And Magambona, he saw the branding. And I went to go ask his dad. He's like, yo, dad, I was just like dancing. And it's so, hey, man, Aunt Latisha la pad. And the dad's like, hey, bro, you were dancing with a ghost. I was like, what?
Yeah, man,
I was like, you were dancing with a ghost. The person you're talking about is something that died in the 1800s. I was like, but I don't understand what you're talking about. And then so they went into the history books only to see the person that he was actually dancing with was a person from back then. So sometimes seeing it depends on how you see it. So sometimes seeing a ghost could literally be a sign from the universe. Or sometimes
but do you think
So speaking of Dipuku, we have a comment right there on YouTube from Rosina Oliphant. My friend claims he dated a ghost for a week. They only met at night.
It can be true, guys. It's possible.
No, but it is possible because I need to ask the day because there are some jobs where people literally work back and forth. Like literally this week they work a 7-day shift.
No, don't be scared. Don't be scared because Mina, it makes sense right now to, you know, like a lot of people who come in social media and make confessions, they're making confessions about tabangeko. You know, sometimes you might be venting, you know, at groove, like, yo, yazigiti, like you just venting to a ghost, and you don't know guti, what venting and energy that you're putting out there is going to transpire to be. You understand? That's why a lot of people like to vent whenever they are drunk. Because it's those spirits, you know, that, you know, they just want to have a conversation with you. Just give us what you have, and then Tina, we're gonna work with it where we are going.
I'm making an example. Growing up, I've heard stories about traveling to Komachayeng. Right, and they'll tell you go strateng se se yang how fitla go sona gona le dipuku tsa mo. These are people who passed on along that road, right? So zo emakhaya bakutshela ukuthi mawufika estrateni si kanje na kanje mangahlangana nomuntu ohayikhaya, don't pick them up. I promise you, it's things that have happened. Truck drivers have these stories. A lot of truck drivers will tell you, I've seen, or guys, I've heard of stories where truck drivers say, I didn't feel like I was threatened so. I promise you.
True, yeah.
And someone takes over the truck.
Yeah, like someone drives the truck. Well, not someone, but something drives the truck.
Some entity.
Yeah, it's an entity or like botigolosh or whatever you want to call it. Right. So there's one I've heard of adults, but when we were growing up, we used to like talking about it. Mang Nightingale. I forget the lady's name, but
Florence
Nightingale. Florence dress. Na haika abadilo ko morago ga dilo ko pele le wena. And I then have a conversation with like the threshold la dlalela khona awusambone motweni and then now kind of like what tlhapogelo in a sense. So anyway, the point here is dipuku di teng guys, di kom jaivong
they are before we invite them are remove. But the last comment from this girl was like, I met her, we chilled, took pictures, next morning she's not in the pictures. It's they're happening. So please guys, do make sure that you stay safe wherever you are, but I would love to say embrace it. If you are scared, that's when you're going to get problems. If you see a spoko, dance with it, kiss it, sleep with it, and then all will be well.
No, remember,
all will be well, guys. You know, all will be well.
They must never forget that.
Hey, guys,
look out for the warnings.
We just want to have fun. But yeah, guys, we just also want to hear from you. Thank you so much, Rosina, for that comment. Keep those comments coming and tell us your experience, man. You know, with seeing ghosts, you know, in public spaces and social events where we attend.